Have you ever stopped to think that perhaps everything that is happening in your life, absolutely everything, is a direct reflection of what exists inside your mind? What if I told you that you carry within you a power so great, yet so underestimated, that it could completely transform your reality, create wealth, cure illness, and attract true love? That power is already in you, silent but active, invisible but extremely powerful. This power is called the subconscious. And if you haven't learned to use it yet, it's probably creating the exact opposite of what you want. The truth is that nobody taught us that we are the architects of our own existence. From an early age, we were conditioned to believe that life is made up of luck, fate, or divine merit. But Joseph Murphy, in his revolutionary teachings, shows us that there is an infinite intelligence within us, which responds directly to our deepest thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. Everything you experience today is the result of the mental programming your subconscious has received over the years. Nothing happens by chance. Your mind is the invisible cause behind all your visible experiences. Imagine for a moment that you can access this hidden system and reprogram it to create a new life, a life of abundance, purpose, and fulfillment. What would happen if you knew exactly how to activate this inner power and direct it towards your dreams? The answer could change absolutely everything, because from the moment you understand how your mind works, you stop being a passenger and take the wheel of your own journey. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Get ready to discover, step by step, how to master your subconscious and manifest the life of your dreams, based on the timeless teachings of Joseph Murphy. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have the golden touch? Everything they want, they get, whether it's money, health, relationships, or professional success. But what sets these people apart from the rest is not talent, luck, or privilege. It's awareness. Awareness of the power they have to shape reality through their minds. Joseph Murphy was categorical. Whatever you accept as true with deep feeling, your subconscious manifests as reality. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. The subconscious doesn't question, judge, or criticize. It just obeys. This means that consciously or not, you are creating all the time. The problem is that most people live on autopilot, feeding fears, worries, and limiting thoughts, and don't realize that they are programming their subconscious to attract exactly what they fear most. The subconscious is like fertile soil. It doesn't choose what will grow. It only germinates the seed you plant. And that seed is your dominant thoughts, especially those charged with emotion. Want to change your life? Change what you believe is possible. If you keep telling yourself that you're not lucky, things are difficult, or you can't get anywhere, guess what your subconscious understands? That this is true. And like a loyal servant, it begins to organize all the circumstances of your life to confirm this belief. But when you affirm with conviction that everything is always working in your favor and that life is abundant, and you feel this to be true, reality begins to reorganize itself. That's the big key, feeling as if it's already true. Joseph Murphy called this the act of faith. You think it, you feel it, you believe it, and you manifest it. So start paying attention now to what you're telling yourself on a daily basis. Because whatever you accept internally as real will become real. Your mind is the cause and your life is the effect. You may have been trying to change your life for years. You may have been reading books, watching videos, taking courses. But even so, it seems that something invisible keeps pulling you back into the same old patterns. Do you know why? Because what really determines your reality is not what you consciously want, but what is programmed into your subconscious. And that's where limiting beliefs come in. Since childhood, you have absorbed ideas, phrases, and behaviors that have shaped your perception of the world. A lot of this information came from authority figures, parents, teachers, religious figures, the media. If someone has repeatedly told you that money is difficult, that you have to suffer to make it in life, or that you're not good enough, these phrases have been engraved in your subconscious as absolute truths. Even if you want something different today, these beliefs continue to operate like an invisible system, sabotaging any attempt to change. Joseph Murphy explains that the subconscious accepts anything you repeat often and with emotion, especially in the first years of life. And the most dangerous thing is that these beliefs don't just influence your thoughts. They shape your decisions, behaviors, and even the opportunities you attract or repel. It's as if you were trying to move forward with the handbrake on. You want to prosper, but your deep mind is programmed for scarcity. You want a healthy relationship, but you believe you're not worthy of love. The good news is that every belief can be reprogrammed. But the first step is to identify them. Stop and think. What are the phrases you've heard most often about money, love, success, or health? What stories do you tell yourself about who you are or what you deserve? As long as these beliefs are operating behind the scenes, no matter how hard you try, your reality will continue to reflect what you believe to be true. Changing this is possible, and it all starts with awareness. Trying to change your life with willpower alone is like shouting orders in a language your subconscious doesn't understand. You say one thing, but your deep mind interprets another. And as long as this communication is misaligned, your results will remain the same. The secret lies in learning the language of the subconscious. And it's very different from the logical and rational language we use on a daily basis. Joseph Murphy teaches that the subconscious responds to images, intense emotions, repeated suggestions, and symbols. It doesn't think, it feels, accepts, and executes. This means that you don't change your reality just by thinking positively. You change when you intensely feel what you want as if it were already real. Empty words don't work, but emotionally charged words repeated with faith are capable of penetrating the subconscious mind and creating profound transformations. This is why techniques such as affirmations, visualizations, and prayers are so powerful. When done correctly, they become direct commands to the subconscious. Imagine you want prosperity. Saying, "I am prosperous," just once a day, without emotion, won't change anything. But repeating that affirmation with feeling every day, visualizing yourself living in abundance, feeling the joy and security it brings, that does start to reprogram your mind. The subconscious responds to what you visualize clearly, what you repeat with conviction, and above all, to what you feel to be true. That's why aligning your thoughts, words, and emotions is essential. If you say something but internally feel the opposite, the subconscious will continue to follow the feeling, not the words. Learning to talk to this part of the mind is like learning a new language. But once mastered, it becomes the most powerful creative tool you can have. Your external reality will always reflect your internal communication. What you say to yourself, how you say it, and what you feel when you say it, this is what shapes your destiny. Knowing that the subconscious has the power to transform your life is inspiring. But knowing how to access and reprogram this power is what really generates change. Joseph Murphy left practical and accessible techniques that anyone can apply, regardless of their current situation. And the amazing thing is that these techniques don't require physical effort or external resources. They require consistency, intention, and feeling. One of the main practices taught by Murphy is the use of affirmations, but not just any affirmations. Those formulated in the present tense, positive, specific, and charged with emotion. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be rich," you say, "I am prosperous now. Money flows to me constantly and abundantly." This affirmation should be repeated daily, especially at times when the mind is most receptive. Just after waking up, before going to sleep, or during a state of deep relaxation. Another powerful technique is creative visualization. By closing your eyes and imagining in vivid detail what you want to achieve, you are creating a mental image that the subconscious interprets as real. The clearer, more emotional, and more repeated this image is, the stronger the command it sends. Murphy emphasizes that the brain does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined with emotional intensity. And this is what makes visualization such a powerful tool. We also have scientific prayer, a technique where you declare with faith the desired result, giving thanks as if you had already received it. This practice activates confidence, eliminates doubt, and anchors the mind in certainty. Infinite intelligence is now guiding me. Divine peace rules my mind and heart. These are examples of prayers used by Murphy to generate healing, balance, and prosperity. These techniques, when applied with discipline, begin to create new neural pathways, replacing old beliefs with new ideas. But remember, The key lies in daily repetition and the emotion felt during the process. It's not a magic formula. It's a mental and spiritual process of internal re-education. Transformation begins inside and, over time, becomes visible outside. Imagine if there was a moment in the day when you could plant ideas directly into the fertile soil of your subconscious, without resistance, without criticism, without blocks. That moment exists, and it happens every night, just before you fall asleep. Joseph Murphy considered this moment to be sacred because it is at this point of transition between wakefulness and deep sleep that the conscious mind relaxes and the subconscious opens up completely. It is there, on the edge of sleep, that the magic happens. During the day, your mind is busy with stimuli, distractions, and rationalizations. But at dusk, when you close your eyes and start to slow down, the barrier between the conscious and subconscious mind weakens. This is the perfect time to insert powerful affirmations, clear visualizations, and feelings of gratitude. What you feed emotionally in those final minutes is absorbed directly by the subconscious and processed while you sleep. Murphy teaches that we should avoid sleeping with worries, fears, or negative thoughts. Why? Because what dominates your mind before you go to sleep becomes mental impressions that the subconscious will work on throughout the night. If you fall asleep with feelings of scarcity or insecurity, the subconscious understands this as an order. On the other hand, if you fall asleep repeating affirmations such as, "Everything is always working in my favor," or "I am guided by divine wisdom," these ideas are accepted as truths and begin to shape your reality. A powerful technique recommended by Murphy is to mentally repeat your favorite affirmation as a mantra while you fall asleep. Do this in a soft tone, as if you were nurturing your mind until sleep comes. Another practice is to visualize the scene of your wish already fulfilled and allow yourself to feel the joy, peace, or gratitude of that moment. When sleep comes with these emotions, the subconscious goes into action in full force. Harnessing the power of sleep doesn't require extra time, just intention. Turn your final minutes of the day into a sacred ritual of reprogramming. Because while you sleep, your mind is awake and creating. The mind can create, but it's faith that activates. Without it, even the best techniques become empty. Joseph Murphy teaches that faith is the emotion that gives life to thought. It is inner certainty, even without external evidence. When you want something but doubt that it will happen, you are sending two contradictory commands to your subconscious: wanting and denying. And in this game, the strongest emotion wins. If doubt is greater than faith, the subconscious will follow the doubt. If faith is more intense, it will open up paths where before there were only barriers. Faith is not passively waiting. It's knowing so clearly that what you want is already yours, that the outside world no longer needs to convince you. Joseph Murphy said that you manifest not what you want, but what you believe in with conviction and expect with confidence. Expectation is proof that your faith is active. When you expect the best, prepare for the best, act as if the best is already coming, you attract the best. Many people say they have faith, but they live waiting for something to go wrong. They live preparing for failure, for loss, for scarcity. And the subconscious, obedient as ever, turns this negative expectation into reality. True faith doesn't depend on proof or immediate results. It is born of internal alignment with creative intelligence, with the certainty that the universe is conspiring in your favor. Even when you can't yet see it, you can cultivate this faith, and it grows with repetition, visualization, and internal experiences of certainty. Start small, declaring daily that you trust in life, that everything you want is already on its way. Act, think, and speak like someone who is already living this reality. Positive expectation creates a magnetic field around you, and everything begins to reorganize itself to match this new state of mind. Faith and expectation are the fuels of manifestation. When you learn to feel before you see, to believe before you receive, the impossible begins to become every day. Even after applying the techniques and understanding the principles, it's normal for doubt to creep in at certain times. That inner voice that wonders, does this really work? Can I logically, what if nothing changes? So the comma is a comma. What if I'm fooling myself? Joseph Murphy was clear in saying that these thoughts don't mean failure. They just reveal that the mind is still adjusting to a new program. The mistake is not in doubting, but in identifying with the doubt and letting it dominate. The subconscious responds to the prevailing feeling. So it's not a question of never feeling fear again, but of not feeding it as truth. If doubt arises, acknowledge it, but don't get involved. You can tell yourself, this is just a passing thought. I choose to trust. This simple attitude, repeated firmly, begins to weaken the old patterns and reinforce the new reality you want to create. Murphy teaches us that the mind is like a garden. Negative thoughts are weeds that grow naturally, but you have the power to uproot them every day and plant new seeds. This mental discipline is not a matter of brute force, but of constancy. You can use affirmations such as, I am in the process of transformation. Every day I am more aligned with the life I want. Even if it seems false at first, keep going. The subconscious learns through repetition. Another important point is the emotional environment in which you live. Avoid consuming content or having conversations that feed fear, pessimism, or constant criticism. These vibrations reinforce the negativity you're trying to replace. Surround yourself with words, people, and information that uplift you. The subconscious mind is highly sensitive to the environment, and everything it absorbs, it transforms into experience. Finally, remember that every emotional challenge is a chance to strengthen your faith. When you persevere even in the face of doubt, you are training your mind to trust in something greater than the senses can grasp. And it's exactly at this point that manifestation begins to take shape. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Doubt may knock at the door, but you decide whether or not to let it in. As you begin to reprogram your mind and align your thoughts with what you want, something surprising happens. The universe begins to send you signs. Little clues, coincidences, synchronicities. Joseph Murphy says that when the subconscious receives a new idea imbued with faith and emotion, it begins to act silently behind the scenes, influencing people, events, and circumstances to give shape to what you have imagined. And when this process is underway, you begin to feel, even without seeing it, that something has changed. These signs are not random coincidences. They are reflections of a new vibration you are emitting. It could be an unexpected conversation, an opportunity that comes out of nowhere, a strong intuition, or even an inner feeling of peace and certainty, even when nothing around you has changed. Often the first sign isn't external, it's internal. You feel that you don't need to chase anymore, that you're already on the right track. It's a calm that has no explanation, as if your soul were saying, it's already yours. Another powerful sign is a change in behavior. You start to make different decisions, react more calmly to problems, and feel more confident, even without any apparent reason. This means that the subconscious has already accepted the new programming and is adjusting its behavior to match this new identity. Joseph Murphy called this a change of mental state. When you stop acting like the one you're looking for and start acting like the one you've already found. But beware, at this stage it's common for tests to arise, situations that seem to go against everything you believe in. This isn't a step backwards. It's just the old reality trying to resist before it dissolves completely. The key is not to give up. Remain firm in your practices. Remember, the seed sprouts underground in the dark before it appears on the surface. The invisible precedes the visible. Trust the signs. They are messages from the subconscious and the universe, showing you that your new reality is already on its way. The more you recognize these signs, the more you align yourself with the flow of manifestation, and the more aligned you are, the faster everything happens. The time has come for you to understand once and for all that the life you live today is not the result of chance, fate, or external forces. It is a direct projection of your mind. Joseph Murphy teaches us that all real and lasting change begins from the inside out. If you want to see transformation in the world around you, you first need to transform what is happening inside you. Your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and expectations are the invisible bricks that build your reality. Taking control of your life doesn't mean forcing results. It means aligning yourself with the mental and spiritual laws that govern creation. It means recognizing that your subconscious isn't against you. It's just obeying the commands that you, consciously or unconsciously, issue every day. And if these commands are negative, limiting, or loaded with fear, it will continue to reproduce that same frequency. But when you decide to reprogram it with new truths, new ideas, and new mental images, it begins to create a new world around itself. Many people live as victims of circumstances because they haven't learned that they have the power to create. But you do now. You already have the tools, the knowledge, and the path. It's up to you to decide whether you're going to continue to be a spectator of your own story or whether you're going to take on the role of protagonist. The prosperity, love, health, and fulfillment you desire are not far away. They already exist in potential form, just waiting for your mind to accept them as reality. Remember, your subconscious is like soil. It doesn't question what you plant, it just makes it grow. So plant what you want to harvest. Use your words with intention, feel with truth, visualize with clarity. Repeat every day that you are worthy, capable, and guided by an infinite intelligence. And watch with patience and faith as your life transforms before your eyes. If this content has touched you in any way, if it has made sense and awakened something within you, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications to continue this journey with us. Remember, the power is in you. See you in the next video.